afternoon YouTube, Scott from SE Landscaping, and we're up in Stockton today, which is one of our farthest away jobs. It's when I left the unit this morning at 10 to 6, it was about 25 minutes with no traffic on the road, so I prefer to do that rather than, I think I've explained before, rather than wait an hour and be hit with traffic and be stuck in traffic, and then the 25-minute commute takes you an hour and 10 minutes. So that's what we've been up to this morning, and we've been doing a little bit of weed killing and a little bit of grass cutting and another little job, which is a bit of wildflower seeding, which I'll talk about in a minute. So it's been a hectic week, and the good news is starting next week it'll be a little less hectic. We lost a member of staff last week, and this week I've recruited 2. So things were going along swimmingly, and it all changed. And the good news is, with 2 members of staff coming in, I just sat down a week ago and thought I need to, because I was starting to run around like an idiot again, 12-hour shifts and things, and out till sort of 9 o'clock on the night. So I thought I need to do something, and I need to get the balance back, which I talked about. So I took on 2 bodies. One is to do the general maintenance for one of my crews, and another one is to put someone in a van who's going to do litter picking, flower beds and things like that, just so that we can concentrate on the bigger stuff. And obviously the pruning season and everything else starts now. So that's where we are with that. So hopefully from next week onwards, I've got a couple of busy weeks in June when we put all our bedding plants in, but apart from that, hopefully things will go to plan, and it'll be a less stressful time. And like I say, by chucking some money at this problem, it's going to make my life a lot easier. So that's where we are there. Like I said, today I did a weed killing job. I go to a site once a fortnight and spend 2 hours there. What I do is I do about 40 minutes weed killing every visit, so the footpaths and everything are always spotless, and then I do just over an hour's pruning. So there's about 22 small shrub beds in the area, so I'll get some footage of this site one day. What I do is three or four shrub beds every visit, and the site always looks tidy on a rotation scheme. Then I went to this site I've just been to here which is usually cut grass and shrub pruning again, fortnightly visits, but this time they wanted wildflower seed putting down. Now I'll show you some footage in a bit, but the area is very mossy and wet, and even in the summer it's wet, so I think there's some underlying problems with the waterboard maybe, because at the height of summer this grass can be boggy. And you'll see from the video footage of how mossy this area is. So, but the good news is it's ideal conditions for sowing wildflower seeds. It's wet all the time. They'll love it here. You don't need the best of finishers with wildflowers, and the ones we're putting on will come back each year. So here's a bit of footage of that. So this is the area I killed off about 10-12 days ago. Could have done with a few more days, but time won't allow, so we'll get it rotavated using a Camon C10, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And I have purchased 1 kilogram of Wildflower wildflower seed, which is for seeding this month, Biodiversity Colour Boost. So you've seen how many times I've gone over this, and usually an area like this it would start to turn to dust when it's been dry for weeks, but you can see this is a naturally mossy, wet area and it's just very claggy. The good news is wildflower seeds will love this type of thing, and it doesn't have to be a seed bed finish. So let's get cracking. On the back of the bag we've also got maintenance instructions, because these do come back every year. So there's a bit of a maintenance summary there of cutting grass and raking off after the seeds have dropped and things. So this is a once to do job, not yearly like we do with some of our contracts. So like I say, rotivated with the C10 rotivator you saw there. That machine I've had for over 10 years, and I know I say I renew everything, but this thing here I think I paid £3,500 for 10 years ago, or £3,000. And apart from putting a set of blades on, it's had very little done to it. It's a great little machine. It's made a lot of money in hire. I can get £80 a day for this all day because the hire shops want more. So over the years it's made a hell of a lot of cash. I would say probably using it ourselves, where you do a count. So if you use a product one day, you might think, right, if I hired that, that would be £100. So that's £100 off the machine. So taking that into account, as well as the hire, I would say this machine's probably paid for itself 3 times over, which is what you want. So that's where we are with that. Great little C10 Trackmaster, and as you know, I've got lots of equipment from Trackmaster. I've got aerators, scarifiers, stump grinders, etc. And you find a company like Trackmaster, you find equipment that works, and you just keep going back to them. And I've been buying from them now for 12-14 years or something roughly. So that's where we are. So it was cultivated 6 or 7 times, but whereas a normal area you cultivate it once and then it starts, in this weather, it starts to dry out as you keep going over it. This was never going to be the case with this, because the ground is so wet, and it will stay wet. You can just see when I'm walking in it of how wet it is. So, but the good news is, anybody watching saying, oh, I think you could have put a better finish on that, the good news is I've been doing wildflower seeding for a lot of years, and I can guarantee, and I will be updating on this, I can guarantee that will look well in sort of 6 weeks. So we'll get some footage on that from the future of what's popping up and what's not. Like I say, they will come back each year, so that's the client spent the money there once, and provided we stick to the maintenance regime of letting seeds drop and then raking grass and things off, it will be canny. And there's some other areas on the side, if this works, which I'm not 100% sure it will, the client wants a few more areas done, so chances are we'll do a couple more areas next year with it. So that's wildflower seed. in a nutshell. Very easy job to do. Don't need the best of finishes. It's not like seed, where you need a seed bed or turf, where you need a prepared area. So anybody thinking of doing it, the only downside of this trade is find the people to spend the money, because wildflower seed, a kilo is between 100 and 200 pound, and a kilo is a bag of sugar, for anybody who's wondering. So anybody who's doing wildflower seed, if you read the calculations, the rates are very low for putting it on. I've put this on at sort of 3 times the rate, so it's got a good rate about it. So I'm sure that it'll get a good cover once it sets seed. I'm sure it'll have a good cover there. So that's that job done. Just on my way back now, closer to home, sort of working back inland now, and I've got another job to do closer to home. So that's a bit of grass cutting again. So we'll get on with that next, and then I've got to go out with the grillo later on tonight, and well, tonight I'm saying 4 o'clock, and the plan is to put down some daffodils and bulbs on the site. So that is the plan for the rest of the day. The weather's good. We've had rain during the night, but the weather is good, so that is that's the plan to finish the day off. Last week we were away last week, went away for a weekend. You've got to get weekends away when you're working hard, and I'll just put this photo up here now. And we had a bit of family time in London, and I took my son to his first ever cup final, and my first ever cup final, to be honest. I've seen Liverpool a lot of times, but I've never been to a cup final. So I decided to pay, well, it would have been cheaper to cut off an arm or a leg or a hand and donate them to somebody, because it wasn't the cheapest thing. So I decided to pay for 2 tickets from one of these extortionate companies, because that is the only way to buy these tickets. Obviously season ticket holders get the tickets and nobody else gets them. So I invested in 2 tickets and met a guy on the day who handed them over to me from this company, and everything went great. So, which it should do for the money. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much, but like I say, it would have been cheaper to donate an arm or a leg or a kidney or something. So that was a great day. Liverpool won. Liverpool fan, for anybody wondering. Liverpool won on the day, and we had a good weekend away in London. So any questions coming back to the wildflower seeding, any questions, drop me a message and I shall be happy to answer them. Like I say, there's very little to it. You don't need the quality of grass seed. You don't need the quality of a grass seed preparation bed. You do need to get plenty of money off the client, not so much for the job, because the job's relatively easy to do, but it's the actual expense so it's the actual buying of the products that's the killer. It costs a lot of money to do areas. So like I say, we've been short of a bit of film in the last few weeks, because we just haven't had time, the way things have been, where they've been manic. And everybody in the trade, a lot of you guys watching know what it's like this time of year. You get up on a morning, you're out the house, before you know it, it's home time. So I will be getting some more footage over the next few weeks of various things. Obviously we'll be starting to prune shrubs and bits of weeding, planting up flower beds, and getting these various machines out that I haven't had time to get a lot of footage on. Some of the big guns that we've got to get out. So that is the plan over the next few weeks. More footage, more videos, hopefully sticking to the once a week. That seems to work for everybody. So thanks for watching, guys, and we shall get back to some work, and we will see you on the next one.